This is what Grandma Michelle Justice said in 2016. In the Bible, it says, "In the last days we will not know one season from another. This is a bloom on my apple tree. Even the plants don't know it's November." It has been 32 degrees the last 2 mornings, and today I looked at the tree and it has blooms. Time is getting short. Better be ready for the coming of the Lord. And in 2016, she had a barely 1 year old granddaughter. That is the granddaughter that we've been talking about the past few videos. I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention. She's a little kooky, as you can see. All right, before I get into it, okay, I want to say that there is disgrace in every race. There is no way on my channel do I target any specific race at all. Not at all. Now, I don't have the names of the people on the tip of my tongue. I don't. But I'm going to share really quickly some stories so you can kind of understand where I'm going. In other words, I'm going to Texas real quick to get to Atlanta. Okay, there was a black woman who had a 100% a black and or African American son. I think he was like maybe 7 or 8. And then she had a white boyfriend who claimed he was wealthy or came from a wealthy family. And she had, I think, 2 more children with him. Long story short, she ended up starving. And I blame her. She ended up starving her son, who was 100% black. You know, I'm just going, just go with the flow, okay? Just bear with me. Her children, they ate. They ate full meals. And all the white guy had to say was, "That's not my child. That's not my responsibility. I'm white." That's all he kept saying was, "I'm white." But your kids are now biracial. Now, their mother's black. Their father is Caucasian. If anything, they're biracial. But, you know, if we go from the standards of America, how America was built, you know, if you are 5% black, you are black. And they said the N-word. They didn't say black. You know, I heard it was 1%, you know, but whatever. If you have, that's how they felt. That's how they felt, you know. Biracial. A lot of people think that biracial is, you know, a description and not a race. But I'm not even trying to get into that. But I just want you to know how this man felt. He kept saying, I'm white, even though his children were, if anything, they were biracial. They had their mother's blood and his blood. Okay? Then there was another situation where it was a Caucasian woman and a black man, and they were living in the car. And her daughter, who was white, ended up being a sister wife to her own mother. And he started to molest this young girl. I think she was around 11, 12 as well, and ended up getting her pregnant. I wonder if any of these stories that I'm telling you guys resonate with anyone. If you're into true crime the way I am, hopefully it will. So remember, that was a white woman whose black boyfriend was violating her child. Okay? And then there was, again, the black woman whose white boyfriend was violating her child. And just recently, and I think they were in Pennsylvania, I think, don't quote me on that, but it was a black woman who had several black children. And not only did the white boyfriend end up killing her child and they just left him there, they left and they got a whole apartment somewhere else. And she would drop off groceries like once a week, which was pizzas. But anyway, she did this and left the dead body of the son into the house. So the older child, I think he was maybe like 11 or 12 or something like that. He couldn't take it no more. And he went and, you know, told the neighbors to call the police. But I said all that for a reason, okay? Now, in this story here that I just started covering, okay, this is a family, you know, out of Oklahoma who recently are in the headlines because the husband had been SAing the 11-year-old child. That's not his biological child. Now, Cherie has other children I don't know if they are all her husbands. I'm really not sure. But she has other children, you know, besides. We know at least the 11-year-old. So I was looking at these pictures, and this little 11-year-old girl, cute little girl, very cute. And I can tell that she is not 100% Caucasian or white. You can tell that by looking at the picture. She has a little tint to her. She has that little curly hair. I know, people that are mixed with other races. They're all in my family. I know. I know for a fact that she does not look like, some of her siblings that are, I'm going to say 100%. We all know that no one is definitely 100%, but I'm just using that this little girl is mixed with something. And I don't want to bring race into this, but it's just bothering me. Now, if you guys been following me and looking at any of my videos, you know that I've done a lot of cases where it's been solely white families, solely black families, and there's still someone preying on the children, whether or not they're even biological or not biological. Okay, we all know that. But we're talking about this specific case right here. All right, we're talking about these people right here. Okay? Is the reason why that they were not really paying attention, or I'm not going to say paying attention because they were, but they didn't really care for a whole year. It takes at least 9 months, to have a baby. She never got no prenatal. I guess that's because, they would have been found out earlier. But a whole entire 9 months, and this little girl is pregnant. And beforehand, she was probably being essayed by this man. She just so happened to have gotten pregnant. Then to come to find out, not only is Cherie, her mother, pregnant, mother and daughter are both in this little nasty house with no running water, pregnant by the same man, which is just utterly disgusting. And the grandmother lives across the street, and she sees her granddaughter every day. And she just says, first she didn't know she was pregnant, and then she thought she was pregnant by somebody that she had cared for, another 12-year-old little boy that she cared for. So it just stuck in my head. Because this little girl, it looks like her brother may be biracial too. It looks like he could, but it's just something that just stuck in my head. I don't know. When you see stories like this, so many stories that I covered, so many stories that I read, so many stories that are similar, this little girl could have been 100% white and still be neglected by her mom. It happens. I've done stories like that. I've done stories where the black mother and her black child, the little girl had been neglected too, and the little boy. I mean, it's so many. It's too many. But again, we're talking about this specific story here. I don't know. It just kind of stuck with me, and I didn't really want to mention it, but I had to because I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, very cute little girl, but she most definitely stands out. She does. She definitely stands out. I don't know. He's a pedo. Pedos are attracted to children. We know that. But did he just think he could get away with it? And unfortunately, it's a lot of racist people that get in situations like this, and they still carry their racism. So, I just don't know. I didn't really get into the story, but you guys might know a little bit about this story too. It was a young girl on TikTok. And she was saying how her grandmother is racist, and how her grandmother, got 3 little monkeys tattooed, ugly monkeys at that, tattooed somewhere on her body. I didn't really finish looking at the whole entire story, to represent her own grandkids. Now, that's kind of fucked up. But, normally they sometimes when they're racist or a little bit racist, and they end up getting that same race, because people are not just racist against black people. It could be other races, but that race joins the family. Then they start to see things differently. And they may even become a little overprotective of that one person or that one race that they were so discriminative of, they now protect that race or stand up for that race because now that their grandchild or their child or whatever is that race. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that stuck with me. I don't know. But he was going to take advantage of the situation, which he definitely did. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention who has been following, yeah, when things are slightly different, it just gets my wheels turning a little bit. And I don't know. I just feel some type of way about this situation. I hate it. I hate that little girl became a mother this month at 11 to her stepfather, and then her mom is about to give birth to her brother or sister who is not even born yet. Can you imagine that? This brother or sister is not even born yet and is already an aunt or uncle. Wow, right? Just thought I'd share.